Hello, in this video I will show you how to solve this SAT geometry question. Now this is a question from a previous SAT test, and this one I find that lots of people, it says that lots of people missed it, and it can easily throw students off, so I'll be going over it. So for this question, it's pretty simple. You just have to know your correlations between angles. So you have to know your vertical angles are, your corresponding, and your same side angles. So basically here you've got angle 1, which is 35 degrees. And then it's asking you to find measure 2. Actually, I should have just done a big refresher of this. So when it says that lines S and T are parallel and M and L are parallel, that's just showing you that these vertical angles and corresponding angles are possible. If these weren't parallel, then it wouldn't necessarily mean that the angles will be the same. By saying that they're parallel, these angles will repeat, and the equations and the theories for each of these angles will apply. So like vertical angles will work, corresponding angles will work, but if it says that they're not parallel, it won't necessarily be true. It won't necessarily work. So let's go ahead and just find measure 2. So we know that angle 1 is 35 degrees. So whenever you're taking the test, the first thing you want to do is you want to label whatever your information is given. So you've got 35 degrees. And now it's asking us to find angle 2. So now we'll just do, so I'll just do a quick refresh on what vertical angles are. So vertical angles are angles, say like this, so vertical angles are these angles, the ones that go, let's do 1 and 2. Those are vertical angles, and they will always same angle. So if angle 1 is equal to 20 degrees, angle 2 is also equal to 20 degrees. So those are vertical angles. Now let's take a look at corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Now, corresponding angles are just angles that, let's take this, for example, once again, we'll label it 1, and that's our corresponding angle. And these two, when cut, these are basically cut across by a line, and a line cuts in front of them. So you know that these are corresponding angles if they add up to 180 degrees. So let's say angle 1 is equal to, let's say 80 degrees. Angle 1 is equal to 80 degrees. That means to solve for angle 2, we must do 180, let me write that a little better, 180 subtracted from angle 1 is equal to angle 2. So now we just sub that in. 180 minus 80 equals angle 2. Angle 2 equals 100. So that's just a quick refresh on how you solve this. So now let's jump to the problem. So let's just start off with, let's just take a good look at our problem. So these are obviously parallel, and we see that, just like our examples, there's lots of vertical and corresponding angles that we can use. So when we do this, it's important to know that there's one more thing that we must know after I look at that, once we look at this problem, right? You also need to know one more theory. So it's called same side, interior. Same side, interior angles. So same side, interior angles, just quick refresh, is just these angles here. Those two angles. And those angles will always, so they'll always be, these will always be like corresponding angles. So these will always be like corresponding angles. So what I mean by that is 180 minus, let's say, x is equal to y. That's just what I mean. It's just like this. Just like 180 minus angle 1 equals angle 2. It's just like that. So now let's take a look at this. So you've got 35 degrees, and immediately, and we need to find 2. So it's kind of like a maze. We slowly find our path by using these vertical corresponding and same side interior angles. So we'll take a look. So 35 degrees, that's angle 1. That's all the way up here. So now our first thing that we should do is find this angle. Right there. Find that angle. So that's corresponding angles. Take a look. So this is angle 1. That means this would act as angle 3. So 180. To find this, that means we have to do 180 minus angle 1, 35, equals angle 3. 180 minus 35 equals, so 180 minus 35, let's just do that up here. So that would be 5, 7, 4, 1, 145 degrees. Angle 3 equals 145 degrees. So now I've got 145 there. Now, let's take another look. We've got, and now, once we see here, this is all the way up here. But what's down here? We'll name that angle 4. So that is, as you can see here, it's just like this example. Same side interior angles. And same side interior angles are just like corresponding angles. They're just 180 apart. So these two add up to 180. So what's 145 plus whatever is equal to 180? That would be 35. So this is equal to 35 degrees. And now this is another. Now let's take let's use a new one. So you've got a vertical angle here, 35 degrees. Now let's try and find this. So remember, vertical angles are always equal to each other. So this is angle 4. We'll label this angle 5. And these two will always be equal to each other. So 35. If 4 is 35, that means 5 has to be 35. So that's 35 degrees. And now we'll use a same side interior there. And as we did earlier, 180 minus 35 is equal to angle 6. And that means angle 6 is equal to 145. And now that we have angle 6 as 145, all we need to do is a vertical angle to find angle 2. So those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are always equal. So if 6 is 145, that means 2 has to be 145 degrees. So 2 must be 145 degrees. So that means we have our final answer. And our final answer will be angle 2 is equal to 145 degrees. There is our answer. And to do this problem, you just have to make your way down. You just have to make your way through the diagram by finding new angles, and then eventually you'll get to your final answer. So thank you for watching this video. Be sure to leave a comment and ask any questions. Be sure to watch our future videos. Thank you.